Here's a problem you could encounter if you don't use enough concrete. If you're patching something, which is what happened here, there's a sidewalk, an existing sidewalk, and then a patch job, and you can see the variation already. Here's a different view of the patch, and of course, I made another video providing you with an example of what type of problems you're going to encounter if you don't use enough cement, and that I believe was the video before this one. But you can see here someone went ahead and they cut out a section of the sidewalk to replace for whatever reason. And there's a slight variation. When I say a slight variation, it's at least a quarter of an inch in one area. And of course, that's where the arrow is pointing to. And I wouldn't have noticed, I mean, I wouldn't have really taken a picture of this if it didn't snag my shoe. I'm walking through here or whatever, and it kind of reached out and grabbed my shoe, which these variations do every once in a while. Now, the best advice I could give you, and I've had this happen to me more times than I would like to, would be to, when you're patching the concrete area, make sure that you don't screed the concrete even. Um, and if you do, flatten the concrete out. Make sure that you have extra concrete ready. Let's just say you have an extra 5-gallon bucket of concrete, for example, for a patch like this, because the concrete will settle. It will actually settle down, and I'm sure that's what happened here. It'll settle down and settle down. I've had this stuff settle at least a quarter of an inch, which would be kind of what the problem would be here. Um, and if you don't want that to happen, you're going to need to be aware of the fact that it can happen. It can settle. And if it does settle a little more than you would like, you're going to end up with something like this. So to solve it, just make sure you have a little more concrete there available. And if you see it, you notice it's starting to settle, just go ahead and add some more concrete to the area or the areas where it's settling and tamp it, screed it, and finish it, and you shouldn't have a problem. But just be aware. You know, kind of like to reiterate, the main purpose of this video is to be aware that concrete, especially patch jobs like these, it will settle. And if it does settle enough, then you're going to need to redo the patch because it'll create a safety hazard.